What is going on, guys? Today we have got second in form Pogba, 600 to 660k. My complete price on the overall end review is going to be about 560 to 570 due to actually dropping down in price, and now he's gone back up. We're going to talk about the price. We're going to have a look at all of his in-games. We're going to have a look at his game style, whether you should go for him. He's got now quite a few versions, 3 versions, what are 87, a gold 86, and now he has this 88 after just scoring the winner against Fulham. Pogba is, I daren't say back, but definitely playing a hell of a lot better, and as a United fan, I couldn't be more happier for him. And in terms of FIFA, I think he's a cracking player. Obviously, if we do see like a team of the season of him, then that card is going to be absolutely insane. So hopefully we continue this form and we see a 90 Pogba, but not before too long. Let's get into the review, and let me know down below, who do you want in Reds this week? So going into Pogba then, he is a 5-star skiller with the 4-star weak foot. He is 76 pace, 85 shooting, 88 passing, 87 physical, and 88 dribbling. So for me, he is kind of like more of a kind of centre mid than a cam or DM. Obviously, if you are looking at maybe a shadow on him, it will turn him into an 88 CM. Obviously, you could go all out hunter and play him as a cam. I just think he's got more benefits kind of doing both roles. Rather than just sticking up front, I would much rather go and buy Bruno or KDB or someone along them lines who is more attacking orientated. And obviously he's got the 5-star skills, he's got the 4-star weak foot, he's looking pretty good up there. And in defense as well, big unit, he's got a bit of defending, especially if you put a shadow on him. It goes up to 77 with 80 stand, 83 sliding tackle. So for me, he plays perfectly in that mid role. And I think a lot of formations don't necessarily have a complete mid unless you're going for like a 4-2-3-1 as a kind of like a DM cam, sorry, and you play the DM more as a kind of pushing forward, and you have that last DM just sitting back. But it depends on how you play. For me, I think for me, Pogba, if he was going into my absolute main team, I would probably play him as a DM that I carry the ball with. So basically, you've got him in the 4-2-3-1. You've got your 3 cams sitting above him, and then you've got your striker. And basically, from the outlet, if say I had someone like Kante next to him, Kante would sit in the middle and no pushing on him, and Pogba would be the one I'd look to get the ball to and carry it forward, pushing him up to the kind of attacking options, giving 4 outlets to go for in the kind of attacking side of it. In terms of his stats then, we've got 79 finishing, which I think is definitely needed an upgrade. We've got 85 stamina, decent, strength's good, aggression 80, maybe would like a little bit more, being very picky, but now he's getting into the top ratings where he actually could make it into Fut Champs teams. I really want to see him hit that next level with kind of like an all-round stat. Obviously his defending would be very, very nice to get the upgrade on. Obviously if you was to look at more of a defensive side of him, you would be looking mainly at the rule breaker, which I think is still coming in at about 730 to 825 depending on what console you're on. And obviously you are getting a massive plus 13 defending boost, but you are losing 11 passing. So always make sure you're in mind with that, is that you do get a massive defensive boost, but passing definitely gets thrown out of the water. And I think definitely a catalyst must be involved in that card, because 77 passing for me is just not good enough if you are looking at like a $500,000 to $750,000 player. In terms of this card then, I would say straight off the bat, do not buy him in the first week. We have Team of the Year coming. We have rewards still. He is going to drop like no other. And the fact that his road to the final, which more than likely, hopefully, gets an upgrade, is 514. Go and buy that one. It's not in packs. He won't go down unless we lose that match. So for me, I think it's a win-win with the road to the final. You only are taking the bank or the kind of risk on the fact if Man U lose, I think against, I don't even know who we're against. We're against a pretty decent team in terms of Europa football, but I feel like at the form we're in at the minute, we will win that match, and more than likely you'll make absolute bank, or you'll get the 88 rated card for your team. Now, if we move into some gameplay, Pogba for me has always been quite of a funny player to have in my team because he's just so big, and yet his agility, his passing, his movement has always been so fresh, so clean and quick. And for like what is he, 6'2", 6'1", he is a very, very good player. We see constant assists from him. We see him pushing forward, then he holds back a little bit. It's kind of like that perfect CM role, and I think that's what he plays absolutely brilliantly. We see him moving forward as I kind of push him forward. We did try him as a cam as well in one of the matches just to see what he was like at it. I really like him kind of sitting on the edge of the box, very, very close to unleashing an absolute corker on that one, and we see it constantly from him. His shooting, his passing has all been very, very nice. Finishing wise, I would like a little bit more, but again, I'm waiting for that 90 plus Pogba to really blow me out of the water. And honestly, just a fun player to play with. As a United fan, I'm quite happy to kind of see him get these informs after so long of kind of not really having many versions of Pogba. Always a chance to get a cheeky red. So if we do go into the overall, as we can see, I got 560, 570. He did go up in price. I'm going to try it again. No, he's still staying the same, but he was up, or he was down, in fact, to them prices, but I'm guessing someone's bought that off the market, and now he's kind of gone back up. We've refreshed only 9 minutes ago, it makes sense. But in terms of what you're looking for, price-wise, definitely not yet. Like I say, Team of the Year is coming soon. He's going to be in for a whole week where Team of the Year is absolutely popping. We still don't know the ins and outs of Team of the Year on Friday, if they're releasing the full team, if they're doing what they normally do and releasing defenders and goalkeepers and then midfielders and attackers, which if they do the normal route with defenders, goalkeeper and midfielders, it means that it's going to be in packs for 3 days. That is the goalkeeper, defenders and midfielders. So he's going to absolutely shoot down. He's not going to be 600k for a long time. I feel like if you look at his 87, we see that at 300, 400 on the PlayStation. If I was to take a random guess, with Team of the Year being absolutely mad pack openings, I'd probably say he'd be looking around about the 400 to 450 mark at the very, very least, depending on what actually happens. If the full team comes out, he's going to hit the floor. He's just going to, because the amount of packs that are going to be opened is going to be unreal. We see it every year with Team of the Year. I personally would stay away from any sort of Team of the Weeks at the moment. Obviously, there is still that you can kind of go in on. I would be looking at discard value for a lot of the investments, because I think you can afford to do that this time around, and then you're going to have to wait just a little bit longer for them to rebound. There's going to be a lot of supply, but again, a lot of people are not going to want to waste informs. They're going to just whack them straight in that discard or put them up for minimum, and then you've kind of just got to wait for the supply to kind of end in the next couple of weeks. But Pogba, overall, I think he's a good player. I personally gave his first inform a 10 out of 10. Since then, I've kind of made a little bit more of a decision with ratings and tried to be a little bit more critical, a little bit more harsh, rather than giving so many players 10 out of 10s. And it's something that I really need to kind of be more consistent on. And with the spreadsheet that I'm doing and with everything that I'm trying to put in behind the scenes, I'm making the ratings more... It's more, I'm trying to think of the word, it's kind of like, it's going to have more continuity. I think that's the word that I'm looking for. If I'm whacking the inform as a 10 out of 10, literally in the first few weeks, then maybe, because obviously back then it was cracking, but it doesn't mean 2-3 months down the line he gets a second inform. We've got lots of cards on the market now. It doesn't mean that one's going to be a 10 out of 10. Normally what I'm trying to say is, as soon as I do that video, so you see that Pogba video happen in October, for instance, he's going to be a 10 out of 10 in October, because he's a very, very good player. He's got nice stats, lovely price at that point. Then we get into the better cards. We have prime icons, we have more informs, we have more specials. There's going to be more competition, and he's not going to be the full 10 out of 10. Like right now, if I looked at Pogba, I'd say it's about probably like a 9 due to the price, if you was to buy him right this second. But I'm thinking if Team of the Year does knock him down, he's going to be quite a decent player for relatively cheap. He's not going to be absolutely down to the bottom. He's not going to be hitting 100k, but he definitely will be hitting a lot lower than he would do on a normal promo week. This is team of the year. There's so many packs opened, and he will definitely hit the floor in terms of the minimum value you could get this Pogba for. In terms of chemistry style, obviously people are looking at the shadow, gets that defensive boost, turns him into an 88 centre mid. If you wanted to go all out attacking, obviously you could turn him into an 89 cam, centre forward or striker with obviously the shooting boost. But I feel like shadow as that kind of like in between centre mid definitely would be the best option for me. In terms of links, Rashford, Bruno, Gold Martial, you've got a lot of players in here that really can do well. Even a Freeze Wan-Bissaka in the centre-back role would be a nice strong link, and then you can link them to any sort of French players. Obviously Mbappe's a big one. You've got Freeze St. Max, Freeze Dembele, plenty of players to get your teeth into. The French nation is probably one of the easiest ones to actually link to, and to link to very meta players, because I think Pogba definitely has a chance to be in a lot of people's Fut Champs teams, and obviously be in a lot of teams nonetheless. Overall wise, like I say, 9.5. I think he's a cracking player. Would love this card in my red picks. I don't think I'm going to be that lucky, but honestly, Ben Yedder, Pogba, Gold 2, it's going to happen. Apart from that, make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you for the next one. Peace.